the opposition front, presumably led by Rigathi Gachagua, if they don't work their mathematics correctly, they might lose the whole cake. Now, I want to fetch it from a very far angle. Remember back then when I was telling you that ODM has a leg that is outside the government and also a leg that is inside the government. I was vindicated when also Rigathi Gachagua recently said that actually Raila Amolo Odinga is the largest watermelon and not Kalonzo Musyoka. I said we have persons outside the government, which is Babu Owino, and we also have Edwin Sifuna, the senator for Nairobi County. Now, with them, they have been fighting this government, the atrocities, but remember, they were still in ODM, and they're still in ODM, whereas the other leg is in government. And now, Rigathi Gachagua did say the only reason as to why Raila Amolo Odinga came in handy trying to say that issues beyond 2027 they are not discussing, and who says that they are not going to field a candidate. But as per now, the agreement with the UDA government or William Samoei Ruto is up to 2027. Therefore, there is a card that is being played here. Remember back then, Babu Owino was blaming Uhuru Kenyatta for their failure in 2022 during the elections, and he said even if not directly blaming Uhuru Kenyatta, then those who are surrounding him, because he couldn't understand how a sitting president would have a preferable candidate who loses against an opponent who was not controlling the government. Now, why am I saying that if the opposition front is not careful, their house will be divided? We've seen recently when they field candidate, it's either they walk out of the race or they change camp, courtesy of being paid by the emissaries sent to them from the government side. Now, recently, Adozie came from Jeremiah Kioi of Jubilee Party. This is after Cleophas Malala did say that Jubilee Party is a red wheelbarrow coming on the mountain, and that the central people should not be confused to accept that red wheelbarrow. Now, if you understand the politics of wheelbarrow, you'll understand the bottom-up economic model that was being sold back then when William Samoei Ruto in handy with Rigathi Gachagua were campaigning. But now they saw that that wheelbarrow, the bottom-up economic model, was not working for the people. Actually, it has barred people from getting money. The economic status of people in the nation is going down. What do I mean right now? When they say it is a red wheelbarrow, it means these are the same people that are in government. Therefore, do not trust them. To counter this, Jeremiah Kioni now says that actually Gachagua is entering into a deal with William Samoei Ruto, and inside a boardroom of the DCP party, there was a discussion between 15 members and Rigathi Gachagua, who was telling them, William Ruto has sent some emissaries to me, and now you see, we are going to use these to bargain the end of our cake. Like, I will have my 4 million votes, I combine with 1 million from Kalonzo, I combine with 800,000 from Matiang'i, and then we shall have a bigger and a larger cake. Being asked whether this information was verifiable, Kioi said that he is sure from the informant that gave him this information, meaning we have moles in both camps who are getting information from Gachagua's side and giving it to the government side, and also to other people, and also getting information from the government side and giving it to Gachagua people. Now, what do I mean? This is the reason as to why I always tell you there is never a regime change. Because tell me, if Rigathi Gachagua with William Ruto, they said they're not going to allow Raila Amolo Odinga to come in government, and that him, Rigathi Gachagua, placed traps that whenever Raila Amolo Odinga will try to visit State House to negotiate a deal, he will be trapped in it. Unfortunately, it is Rigathi Gachagua who was ousted, and William Samoei Ruto got into a deal with Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, just the other day, I gave you a video about Kalonzo Musyoka, who was saying that Raila Amolo Odinga is a long-time friend. In fact, he spent most of his political life supporting Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, tell me, what will Kalonzo Musyoka if he is the presumable elected or nominated flag bearer for the opposition front, and he gets elected? Automatically, him and Raila Amolo Odinga will work together. That goes without saying. Be it Martha Karua, who will be elected in that opposition front, they'll still work with Raila Amolo Odinga. Be it Eugene Wamalwa, because on the other end, back in Kisii, during the 20th anniversary celebrations of the ODM party, there's a leader who stood up and said, even in the next government, ODM, whether our presidential candidate is elected or not, we are going to work with the government of the day. Meaning they have decided that the role of opposition, they are no longer going that route. Bring in my point, just the other day, Babu Owino said that Kalonzo Tosha. You understand? And said that when we were with Kalonzo in the Azimio la Umoja, he was a good person. Now that we are no longer intact as Azimio, now Kalonzo becomes the bad one. How is that? How is even that possible? So Babu Owino is seeking responses to all these. But how sure are we that they are not playing the same political cards? So, dear Kenyans, we are far from being liberated. That is my point. The IEBC registration of voters is open as of yesterday, 29th of September. Kindly let us register as voters. Let us find young, vibrant, and competent leaders who can represent the grievances we as a people have, other than electing people who have their political settles to score or have their personal businesses to protect, and therefore just using you as a human capital to go and negotiate the end of the deals. Whatever you want to do with this information is up to you. And therefore, whether we elect the ones we presumably see as the opposition or the ones in the government, still we are doomed. It is time we get a fresh blood. I don't know what's your take in this. I don't know what to think about this. Kindly give me your thought in the comment section below. If you're watching from our YouTube channel and you have content of this nature, kindly subscribe and press the notification button so anytime that we are live, you'll be the very first person to be notified. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the Unscripted Talks here in Dab Radio. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, Dab Radio ndio mpango mzima.